Reducing risk of hand-arm vibration. Course objectives. By the end of this lesson, you will be aware of the effects from exposure to vibration and the precautions that need to be adopted to reduce the risk of vibration white finger and other vibration-related syndromes. Course content. What HAVS is, how common is HAVS, a brief history of hand-arm vibration syndrome, outline possible hazards and the health effects, what are the early and advanced symptoms, who is at risk, what tools may cause HAVS, and how we control and calculate the risk of HAVS. Legislation to consider in respect to HAVS. Health and Safety at Work Order NI 1978, Management of Health and Safety at Work Regulations NI 2000, Control of Vibration at Work Regulations NI 2005, Provision and Use of Work Equipment Regulations NI 1999, Control of Noise at Work Regulations NI 2006, and PPE at Work Regulations NI 1993. Hand-arm vibration syndrome is a collective name for a range of conditions, including specific diseases such as hand-arm vibration, Raynaud's disease, and carpal tunnel syndrome. So what is hand-arm vibration syndrome? It's a recognized industrial disease that affects tens of thousands of workers. It affects the blood vessels, nerves, and joints of the hand, wrist, and arm. Its best known effect is vibration-induced white finger. So how do we contract hand-arm vibration? HAVS is the result of vibration transmitted from work processes into hands and arms, normally caused by the use of handheld tools such as grinding, polishing tools, road breakers, or even by the use of a lawnmower. How common is HAVS in the industry? Almost 5 million workers in the UK are at risk. The Health and Safety Executive estimates that 770,000 people suffer from finger blanching as a result of HAV exposure. Claims for civil damages are running at 8,000 to 9,000 cases per year, and the average claim is £7,000. The construction industry has by far the most cases of vibration white finger. We're now going to talk about vibration-related syndromes. Raynaud's disease. Raynaud's phenomenon is a condition where blood flow to your fingers, toes, ears, or nose is restricted or interrupted. Raynaud's disease signs and symptoms include cold fingers or toes, color changes in your skin in response to cold or stress, and a numb, prickly feeling or stinging pain upon warming or stress relief. When is it hazardous? When exposure is regular and frequent, most likely if contact is part of the method statement for carrying out work. Occasional exposure is unlikely to be hazardous, and a risk assessment to be carried out before any work is undertaken. Another condition of hand-arm vibration is carpal tunnel syndrome. It is a medical condition due to compression of the median nerve as it travels through the wrist at the carpal tunnel. The main symptoms are pain, numbness and tingling in the thumb, index finger, middle finger, and the thumb side of the ring fingers. Symptoms typically start gradually, usually during the night. Pain may extend up the arm. Weak grip strength may occur, and after a long period of time, the muscles at the base of the thumb may waste away. In more than half of the cases, both sides are affected. Carpal tunnel syndrome is common in people who perform repetitive motions of the hand and wrist, such as typing, but other causes also include sewing, driving, assembly line work, painting, writing, use of tools, especially handheld tools that vibrate, sports such as racquetball or handball, and the playing of some musical instruments. So is there treatment for carpal tunnel syndrome? It is reversible in the early stages if exposure is stopped. In moderate cases, surgery may help provided it is not left too late. In very severe cases, the symptoms are irreversible and may include weakness of the hand due to loss of muscle function. This photo shows advanced symptoms of vibration white finger. Blanching of the fingers is caused by blood flow being interrupted to the tips of the fingers. What are the early symptoms? Tingling in fingers, loss of feel, loss of strength, fingers going white, becoming red and painful after use. Probably first noticeable at the tips of the fingers and most noticeable on cold, wet days. If we do not take heed of early symptoms and continue to use vibration tools, advanced symptoms can lead to extensive blanching of most fingers, even in summer, finger pain, swelling and ulcers, continuous numbness and aching up to the elbow, severely reduced sense of touch, seriously reduced manual dexterity and grip strength, and distorted finger joints. So what is the overall effect on people? Pain, distress and loss of sleep. Can't do any fine work like fastening buttons. May not be able to work outside, and severe loss of grip and strength. If diagnosed with HAVS, avoid further exposure to vibration. You may be advised to change jobs. Avoid smoking and exposure to cold. There is no specific treatment, but if you have severe symptoms, your doctor may prescribe calcium channel blocker drugs, which dilate the blood vessels. This picture shows gangrene resulting from vibration white finger due to no blood flow to the fingers. Many researchers believe that other symptoms, such as headaches, depression, forgetfulness, and sleeping problems, should also be included in descriptions of vibration syndrome. Which jobs may produce a risk? Here we have some examples. Equipment used for roadworks, construction, ground maintenance, forestry, manufacturing concrete products, engineering, and the quarry industry. What tools may produce a risk? Concrete breakers and demolition tools, cut-off saws and angle grinders, hammer drills, air tools such as impact wrenches, chisels and needle guns, woodworking tools such as sanders, jigsaws, circular saws, routers and chainsaws, and road equipment. The control of vibration at work regulations. Employers must assess the vibration risk to employees. Decide if daily exposure action values of 2.5 meters per second squared or 100 points are being exceeded. Decide if daily exposure limit values of 5 meters per second squared or 400 points over an 8-hour period are being exceeded. Provide information and training to employees on the health risk and action to be taken. Keep records of risk assessments, control action and health surveillance. Review and update your risk assessments. So what action needs to be taken when exposure action values are exceeded? Eliminate the risk if possible. Reduce exposure, for example, longer breaks, job rotation, different work processes, modern equipment or PPE. Provide health surveillance to those who continue to be exposed above these values. Exposure limit value is the maximum amount of vibration an employee may be exposed to on any single day. ELV is a daily exposure of 5 meters per second squared over an 8-hour period. 5 meters per second squared over an 8-hour period is high risk, so employees should not be exposed to levels above these limits. Action to be taken when exposure value limits are exceeded. Work to stop immediately. Immediate action to reduce employees' exposure. below the value limit. How can we achieve this? Are you at risk? Are you using tools that you suspect may produce a risk? Are you using these tools regularly? Are there any vibration warning labels on the tools? Are you working in cold or wet conditions? Have you noticed any early symptoms? And has there been a risk assessment on the risk of vibration? Assessing who is at risk. Risk assessment to be carried out by a competent person. Carried out by persons with good knowledge of the business. How long are people's hands in contact with the equipment while working? Information available about the equipment, the make, the model, and the power vibration levels. And speak to the persons using the equipment. Here we have some typical vibration levels for equipment. As you can see, most are above the daily level of vibration allowed. Employees who regularly operate tools and are at risk. Medium risk, which is above the exposure action value. Some hammer action tools for more than about 15 minutes per day. Some rotary tools and other action tools for more than about 1 hour per day. And high risk, which is above the exposure limit value. Hammer action tools for more than about 1 hour per day. Some rotary tools and other action tools for more than about 4 hours per day. Here we have our points equivalent calculations. We have the tool vibration and we have the points per hour. Multiply the points by the daily trigger hours for the tool or tools, then compare with the EAV and ELV. So for example, a vibration tool measuring 5 meters per second squared multiplied by 6 hours equals 300 points. Remember, 100 points per day is the exposure action value, and 400 points per day is the exposure limit value. Here we have pictures of some HAV measuring equipment. These tools can be hired from most hire centres. It is important that an employee knows how much vibration a tool produces. Equipment labels can be fitted to equipment showing vibration levels, exposure points, and the time allowed for use. Advice to employers. Assess the vibration risk to your employees. Take the necessary action to reduce exposure. Ensure that the legal limits will not be exceeded. Provide employees with adequate information, instruction, and training. And provide necessary health surveillance. Information to employees. Warn employees about the risks of using vibrating work equipment. Provide adequate information and training when required. Provide information on the maintenance of the equipment. And provide employees with information above or below 2.5 per meter second squared on vibration emissions. Technical guidance on anti-vibration gloves. Several different types of gloves are available. They are not generally effective at reducing vibration at the frequencies that have the greatest effect on vibration exposure. The degree of vibration reduction provided by the gloves depends on the thickness and softness of the lining. Thick gloves may seriously limit comfort and dexterity, therefore be unsafe to use. Gloves may also result in operators having to tighten their grip, resulting in an increase in the risk of vibration injury. Look at the tools. Employers. Are you providing the most appropriate tools for the job? Check with suppliers whether lower vibration tools are available. Could you use an alternative type of tool, for example, a grinder instead of a chipping hammer, to reduce vibration exposure? To summarize, hand-arm vibration syndrome is a serious, often painful health condition which may result in amputation. Employers must carry out a suitable risk assessment and protect employees who are exposed. Punch calculators on the Health and Safety Executive website are a useful means of identifying persons who may be exposed. We should all know now what HAVS is and how common it is. Outline possible hazards and the health effects, what the early and advanced symptoms are, who is at risk, what tools may cause HAVS, and how we control and calculate the risk of HAVS. This concludes our somewhat condensed Reducing the Risk of Hand-Arm Vibration course. The full version is available to book through the CITB NI office, either for training carried out in your workplace or on the mobile training unit. Thank you for your time and attention from the team at the CITB.